my land.
1,000 generations to the ye now.
Here we go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hopefully you're having a great Sunday here. Just got to make sure that the stream is working all right. Let's take a double check here. Yes, we should be good. I'm going to take these headphones out because I'm getting weird audio feedback from that. But anyways, yeah, thank you all for tuning in. This is going to be just like a really chill, relaxed Q&A kind of video. I've been meaning to do one of these for a little while. And I figured with the with hitting 5K subscribers that it was the perfect opportunity to do something like that. So I'm hearing that the audio is a little echoey, so I'm going to try and fix that somehow. Let me know if it sounds any better, because I honestly have no idea what's causing that, so sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to be getting to some of your questions here really soon. I just want to make sure that we get enough people in here to start getting questions going, and then also I want to make sure the audio doesn't suck, so please let me know for that. Cool. All right. I think the audio is good now, so there we go. There's always like a weird little. I've like live streamed before in the past. If you've been following the channel for a little bit, you know that I used to do like a live movie news show, and that was like always the weirdest thing. Was I'd get this like super echoey feedback, but I guess we're good now. So, anyways, I'm gonna head over here to the chat real quick and see how you guys are doing. And oh, sweet. Okay, we got people over there. Hey guys, how's it going? Congrats, pal. Batwoman. So many questions are: what are your favorite role you could take on? Loki or Thanos? Favorite movie ever? Okay, we'll get to that for sure. Audio sounds good. Good stuff. So I'm going to start with the first question here, because this is a question I've actually gotten several times. So it's with a small channel, how do you get to interview big stars? Haven't even seen Stuckman do something like that. Yeah, it really comes down to being in the area that I live in and contributing for different outlets. So for those of you who don't know, I am an entertainment journalist. I contribute for this movie news outlet called the Playlist. And so through them, I am able to go to press junkets in LA and interview talent for upcoming films. So like I was able to participate in the one for It Chapter 2. That's how I got to talk to Bill Hader and director Andy Muschietti. So that was a lot of fun. And being able to do stuff like that and allow it to live on my channel is how I've gotten those interview things. So if you are interested in pursuing a pathway in interviewing celebrities or something like that, that's basically how I do it. You know, you find a place that'll take you, that wants to publish what you want to say, and hopefully from there they'll trust you enough to want to go interview talent. So, yeah, there you go. Thanks for that question. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, the audio and footage is out of sync. I don't know what I can do about that, but we'll just have to let it be as is for right now. So, anyways, okay, moving on to the next question. Favorite YouTube moment since your channel started? Ooh, geez. That's a great question. Probably starting up the interview podcast, to be honest with you, just because I didn't realize that was something that I wanted to do until I was offered the opportunity to do it at some point. And so from there, it was just it became a passion of mine. I was like, wow, I just really enjoy talking to other creative individuals and learning about their process and stuff like that. So being able to do those interviews has really been, I'd be lying if I didn't say my channel was a huge reason that I got to, contribute for an outlet like the Playlist. And then from there, it allowed me to go do these interviews and stuff like that. So that's probably like the biggest my favorite moments since starting the channel. But then also, just meeting some really cool people like Tyler Tompkins, who had a channel. Him and I connected through YouTube, and we become really, really good friends. I mean, he's like out here living in LA, so I see him like every couple days. We go to some screenings. So I mean stuff like that just really, it kind of like shows you how awesome this space is. Meeting people like Sean Chandler, Zach Pope, people like that. It's just like that when you meet those people and you go to events and you have a good time with them, you just realize like this is what it's all about. It's about having fun and all that good stuff. All right, let's see what else do we got here. How's my day going? My day's going pretty all right. It's been pretty relaxed. I'm editing up a Gemini Man review for you all that I should have out I guess tomorrow, since I'm doing this live stream now. So yeah, so you can look forward to my thoughts on Gemini Man. That was it's not the greatest film, I'll just say that. Okay, moving on to the next one. Audio sounds fine. Future for the channel. Future for the channel, I mean, I have a lot of things that I want to do. A lot of, like, podcast ideas I want to do. A lot of, I want to expand some of the shows we are doing in terms of, like, I keep going back to the fourth wall, the interview show. There's a lot of guests that I want to get on there, and so we'll see how that works. But ultimately, I just want to keep having conversations with people who love film as much as I do, and who like talking about it, and yeah, just keep growing at a great rate and having fun with it. That's the most important thing. If I'm not having fun doing this whole thing, then what's the fucking point, So okay, your hair is fabulous. Thank you. I've gotten a lot of compliments on that as of late. Okay, did you ever expect the channel to be as big as it? No, honestly. I mean, I'm grateful that if I get like 10 people watching a video or 5 people watching a video, so and back when I started, I was like, yeah, I want to grow. I want to make this like the next big thing. I was like, I saw people online talking about it. You watch people like the Schmoes, you watch people like Stuckman, you watch people like John Campia, and you're like, yeah, I mean, like I can contribute to this conversation. I have something to say. Did I ever think that I'd have like 5,000 people listening to what I had to say? No. And in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it's a modest size, but I'm very proud of it, and I'm glad that the people in it are dedicated. They're constantly contributing to the conversation, and that's probably the biggest thing. If I have a core group of people that are that are dedicated and they're listening, we're all having a good time, then it doesn't matter how big the channel is, because that's not what matters. So okay, where do we got here? Okay, Spongy Films. One last advice of meeting stars. Wish to meet Bryan Cranston. Advice, just if you happen to meet one of them, just act normal, because they're just a person just like you and I. They've just happened to done some really cool stuff. I always try to stray away from fanboying in a room, just because it doesn't always look good. Now I understand that sometimes it can happen, but just understanding that they're people like you and I, and they do a job that requires them to be in front of a lot of other people, but that doesn't change who they are. So yeah, I guess that's the best advice I have for that. Ryan, hey Ryan, how's it going, buddy? It's it's good to see you in there. Ryan should start the Arrowverse shows. Look up order to watch Arrowverse. I am not the biggest fan of the Arrowverse shows. I started on Arrow and The Flash. I watched like the first 3 or 4 seasons of Arrow, and I just got tired of the constant melodrama. It just really didn't seem to evolve, and so that was I didn't dig it, and I just kind of stopped watching. And from what I've heard, it hasn't really changed. Although I hear Flash is getting better, and Arrow's wrapping up, so who knows? I don't care anymore. Maybe I'll come back to it eventually. What are movies you like but everyone else hates, and movies you hate but everyone else loves? Oh, I always love this question because my go-to answer for the first one, movies you like but everyone else hates, I actually have a review for on this channel, and that's Assassin's Creed. I am a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed game franchise. And when I saw the movie, I was like, yep, this reminds me of that first Assassin's Creed game. So I get it that some people are going to think it's dull, boring, and they underutilize the Animus, but I thought it was perfect. And I'm really kind of disappointed that I didn't get to see more from that universe. Movies that I hate that everyone else loves? Gosh, that's tough. There aren't like a whole lot of well, actually that's not true. I don't know. I might have to think about that one. The one that keeps coming to mind, and I should be clear, I do not hate this movie, but I definitely don't think it's the groundbreaking piece of just like cinematic awakening that's I guess some people think it is, and that's Blade Runner 2049. Love the film. It's a great movie, really well made. I don't think it's I don't even think it's Villeneuve's best. I think Ryan Gosling is good in it. I think he's been better elsewhere. But I mean, it's a phenomenal movie. Don't get me wrong. It's just I was never as crazy about it as I guess other people are. And I know there's a few of you guys in the chat who love this movie. So, yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Oh, whoops, I think I lost it there. Okay, getting back. Tyler Calvert. Keep forgetting this isn't Men vs. Movie. Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy now. You have such a charismatic and intellectual presence. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. I try to perfect that, and hopefully that comes across. I'm not excited at all for my Gemini Man screening on Tuesday. Yeah, man, honestly, I feel for you, and if you happen to take a quick nap during the screening, I wouldn't blame you. Biggest influence on your career so far? Gosh, I don't even know. I mean, when I first started doing YouTube, the people that I looked to for inspiration were specifically the Schmoes. I just really liked their conversational, best buzz, just talking about movies approach to reviewing films and talking about movies on the internet. It's kind of funny though, because that's the exact opposite of like what I do. I like to be very concise and thoughtful, and I don't like to just go wing it off the cuff. So I love them. John Campea is great, of course. I started watching him, and I think there's a video that he put out of like getting started on YouTube, which was I sat down and I watched that video and I was like, yeah, I can fucking do this. It's easy. Yeah, so those two, I mean, professionally, there's other, pundits and writers and whoever that I've come in contact with that have really been influential in helping me grow. And so, well, first of all, I should probably thank my editor, Rodrigo Perez, who is the editor-in-chief at the Playlist. So, he's been really great at mentoring. And so, yeah, I mean, you come in contact with people along the way who've really influenced you and have been great throughout the course of your career. And obviously, my parents have always been very supportive, so I should probably thank them. Okay, what's your favorite book adaptation of all time? Holy smokes, you're asking the wrong person because I don't really read. This is going to be a cop-out, but I'm going to say From Russia with Love, and that's just because I love the Fleming novels. I think From Russia with Love is probably one of Fleming's best novels, if not his best, and yeah, the film is one of the best James Bond movies ever made. But other than that, I can't, I guess Lord of the Rings would be, I mean, Lord of the Rings is pretty damn hard to top. Same with Harry Potter, although not all of them hit the mark, so maybe, yeah, we'll go with From Russia with Love or Lord of the Rings. Those are all good ones. Got to see Uncut Gems at New York Film Festival. Oh, good. Okay, we'll try not to get into spoilers here, but oh my, did that applause get cut short? I'm a Safdie stan and obsessed with the NBA, so I'd be lying if I didn't say it's my fave film of the year. What do you think? Yes. So Uncut Gems, for those of you who don't know, is the new film by the Safdie brothers, who did Good Time with Robert Pattinson. They've got a new movie coming out with Adam Sandler. And guys, I saw this movie before like they even announced the trailer, before we even saw a promo image, so I had absolutely no idea what to expect. But this movie stressed me out. It was just one of the most relentless, nonstop, unbelievably ridiculous, gritty New York crime gambling dramas I've ever seen. And it's definitely probably in my top 10 of the year. Um, Adam Sandler definitely should be nominated for that performance. But I'll tell you what, the one that really impressed me, the performance that really impressed me in that film was Kevin Durant. I mean, dude can actually surprisingly act. So that was that was pretty crazy. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to doing a review of that. Seriously, guys, keep Uncut Gems on your radar because it doesn't disappoint. It's just a freaking wild ride. Probably the best Adam Sandler's been since Punch Drunk Love. So, okay. Favorite film of whoop, may have lost it there. Whoa, geez. Favorite film of 2019 so far. It's a film called Waves by Trey Edward Schultz, who is the director of It Comes at Night. And this movie is nothing like It Comes at Night. All I can say about Waves is I'm going to do a review on that as well. But all I can say about Waves is that it's one of the most just like emotionally taxing and moving, and yet it leaves you with optimism at the end. It's unbelievable, and it's really well shot. The score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross is incredible. Unbelievably well acted. Sterling K. Brown should probably get a Best Supporting Actor nomination. It'll be tough, but I think he deserves it, and so that's my favorite of the year so far. Definitely keep it on your radar. That comes out in November. What's your YouTube high? Whoa, what my YouTube highlight wasn't meeting you at the Joker screen. Hey, that was fun, man. It was a good time. I was glad. It was really funny. So Christian, if you don't know, 1 Minute Critic, we're both in the same area, same LA area, and so we're at the screening for Joker, and this guy like comes walking in front of me, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I thought he was talking to the people behind me, but I just see this big like shadowy bald figure, and I'm just like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Is he talking to me or what?" So then I'm like, I just say like a very silent like, "Oh hey, how's it going?" And then this guy, and then he comes out around behind me, and he's like, "What? You're gonna give me the cold shoulder?" And I turn around, I'm like, "Oh, it's you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry." So, yeah, that was a really fun experience. Glad we got to finally meet up. Are you excited for El Camino? Favorite Breaking Bad character? Mine's either Hank or Mike. Fun fact: I'm not the biggest fan of Breaking Bad, and so I can't say I have a favorite Breaking Bad character. And I'm not excited for El Camino because I never watched the rest of the series. I started it and then I didn't get into it, but so go ahead, rake me over the coals for it. So you the man, Grove, keep it up. Thanks, Jacob, I really appreciate it. Have you ever watched Mindhunter? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I love Mindhunter. I think it's one of the best shows on television right now, and I'm ashamed to say that I still have 2 episodes left in season 2, but I love it. I think it's like super atmospheric. It definitely gives me my David Fincher fix in the interim. So I like that a lot for sure. It's incredibly well acted. I love how they take a concept which is just having conversations with serial killers. On the surface level, that seems like it would be pretty boring, but they're able to turn it into something that's riveting. And like when these serial killers are giving these monologues and you're seeing like just like the slow camera movements and the reactions, it sucks you in, and you can't help but just you watch the entirety of it. You don't want to look away. It's definitely one of the best shows on television right now. What do you think about that scene in Joker? Oh man, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there's a scene that happens in Joker. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. There's a scene that happens in Joker towards the end that is probably one of my favorite sequences of the year in terms of film. It was just yeah, man, it's just really unsettling, and the way Joaquin Phoenix is just overly eccentric, and there's something yeah, there's just something really off about him in that scene, and then as it just constantly builds up to what to without giving anything away, as it constantly builds up, it just it becomes uh yeah, I mean, like, I'm just holding my breath the whole time. I'm stressed out the entire time. It's just like it's ridiculous. It basically just go see Joker. I understand it's not gonna be for everyone, but go see Joker. Anyways, um, what are your favorite type of movies? Mine are dark fantasy, fantasy horror movies, and thriller movies. But movies you prefer? Um, I'm pretty all over the place. I mean, obviously, like, espionage and spy films are really, that's like my bread and butter. I'll eat those up all day long. I mean, James Bond's my favorite film franchise of all time. I love even some of the weaker ones. I can still find stuff to take out of them that I just like really enjoy. So that's big for me. I'm also big on just like dramas, just straight dramas in general. I think when you can get a really solid one of those, uh, there's just nothing better to me. Something like Whiplash, which is one of the best movies of the 2010s. It's it's a straight drama and it's riveting. And same thing with like Birdman. I don't know why I'm going to 2014 movies, but lo and behold, um, so yeah. I mean, I guess those are the. I mean, I'm also a big Hitchcock fan, so I like going to that whole thing as well. So okay, so I guess those are my. Do you watch The Office? If so, who's your favorite character? Yes, I love The Office. I watched The Office growing up when it was on. I mean, it's really hard not to go with Michael, right? I mean, like, you name just like a funnier character, a modern day character in like a modern day sitcom. I don't. You can't really beat Michael. I mean, you could probably pick someone from Parks and Rec to go up with him, but no one had like just the comedic timing of Carell, the just like the one-liners, I mean, all of that stuff. It's really hard to beat him. But if I was going to go away from Michael, I think that James Spader as Robert California was one of the most underutilized gems of that entire series. The episode that I absolutely loved was when they were looking to hire the new manager, and Robert California comes in and he gives this whole like weird yet like riveting monologue on like sex. It's the funniest thing, and only James Spader could play that character. Um, and so yeah, I mean, those two. Obviously, Jim's great. Andy's great too. Gotta love Pam. But yeah, Michael and Robert California are really tough to beat. So we'll go with that. Office is very overrated. Hey, fair enough, man. Your point of view, I disagree, but I thought you were going to bring up the Amazing Spider-Man 2 since you know. Oh God, yeah, wow, that is one. I will vehemently defend that movie, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That is a movie that everyone hates that I love. It is. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I mean, sure, there's issues with it, but I think it's a really important growth story for Peter Parker, and the amount of stuff that he goes through. It feels like Spider-Man to me, and him, juggling all of these elements. Is he going to have to sacrifice something? And then when it comes to the end, I mean, and all the stuff that happens, it just, that was like one of the few superhero films where I got to the end and I teared up a little bit. So yeah, I would. That one is, yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that. That is one that I that I like that everyone else hates. Okay, I lost the chat. Let me go back here for a second. What is your favorite great/bad horror movie to watch every Halloween? For me, I like to revisit and review some classics. Like recently, I revisited The Thing. Well, I would say The Thing 1982 is actually a great horror movie to go revisit. For me, I mean, once again, I'm pretty easy here. The ones that I go back to are Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, because you can't watch Evil Dead 2 without going into Army of Darkness, and then Halloween. I mean, my mom was a huge fan of Halloween growing up. She put that on every Halloween, whenever after we'd finish going out, we'd sit there, with our candy on the floor, and she would have that on. But so that then became a staple of stuff I like to watch. Gosh, I'm not like the biggest horror fan, although I've like started to become more appreciative of it. Gosh, let me think. Trick or Treat is great. That's pretty hard to not watch every Halloween, but and I'll probably end up watching like the 2018 Halloween now, just because it is a direct sequel to the original one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I actually, weirdly enough, had never seen before up until a couple of weeks ago, and I watched it. And you want to talk about a movie that's old but is held up. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just fucking disturbing. It really still works, because of that docu style, and yeah, that's a great one. If you haven't seen that, go with that. Okay, what is that one movie that you've seen by love to go back to because that one particular movie is just that good? For you, it's Lord of the Rings trilogy, Solomon Kane, and Mandy. Well, I mean, I rewatch the James Bond films like fucking constantly because I do nothing else with my life. No, I'm just kidding. So I mean, Casino Royale, From Russia with Love, Doctor No. Yeah, those are films that I've constantly revisit. Moving away from that, La La Land is one. I mean, I haven't watched it in a little while, but that was one that I just was constantly playing over again. I adore that film. Gosh, why am I blanking right now? And all I can think of are recent movies. Oh, Vertigo. Vertigo is one that I am obsessed with. Every time I watch that film, I get something completely new out of it. And I think it's an interesting movie that the way it's interpreted has kind of adapted with the times, and so go back and rewatch that movie, and I think you might see it in a different light. It's a really fun one to analyze. I mean, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Great Escape. Those are two staples of mine growing up. I mean, honestly, Harry Potter. Whenever that's on TV, I'll flip it on, even if I'm not like entirely paying attention. I love those movies. So yeah, okay. Wicker Man 2006 is a pretty bad movie. Yeah, it is. But it's fun. Worst performance in a Nolan movie. Gosh, I'd have to think about that. I don't think there are really any bad performances in his films. I mean, there might be some that are worse than others, but I mean, there's so many characters in each of his movies. That's tough. Yeah, let me come back to that. If someone has an answer to that question, throw it in there. 3, overrated film franchise. What is an overrated film franchise? Child's Play. I know people really like that, but I cannot get into it. It does nothing for me. So we'll go with that. Inception is my favorite movie of all time. Yes, it is fantastic, and it is my favorite film of all time as well. Harry Potter and LOL on board answering Ryan questions. Yeah, Ryan, come up with better questions, dude. Just kidding. Who's your favorite movie director? I really like Del Toro and Steven Spielberg. I am a Christopher Nolan enthusiast, fanboy, lover through and through. I don't think the man has ever made a bad movie. He was pretty instrumental in just allowing me to appreciate cinema in a new way that wasn't just like, oh my God, Star Wars. He allowed me to think about films differently than I had before. So Christopher Nolan is really, bar none, my favorite director of all time. Some other ones, Martin Scorsese, Alfred Hitchcock, Sam Mendes. Sam Mendes is huge. He's another one I absolutely adore his movies. So we'll go with that. I gotta go. Have a good night. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in the live chat. I really appreciate it. What's your favorite performance in a Tarantino movie? Ooh, god damn, that's tough. I mean, the recency bias would cause me to choose Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I wouldn't say he's my favorite performance, but he's definitely up there. He's really really good. I think I'm gonna go Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards. That man is just a undeniable talent, and what he did in Inglourious Bastards is he just chews the scenery like no one else I've seen chew scenery before. It's and a lot of that has to do because of the dialogue. I mean, Quentin just writes really meaty dialogue that you can sink your teeth into, but I mean that first monologue, man, really just it's riveting, and then it just only gets better from there. So yeah, I'd probably say Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards. Best product placement in a film. Probably, and it's not because it's good at all. But the one that I always think of, and I'm always just like, yep, that's Michael Bay. Is in, I think it's Transformers 4, when Mark Wahlberg like gets in the car accident. He just like he gets in an accident with all this like truck of Bud Light, and he gets like really mad, and this guy's like yelling at him. He just like grabs a beer, cracks it open on the door, starts chugging it. I was just like, this makes absolutely no sense, and it's weird. Like, what are we doing here? So so yeah, that one is that I always go back to that. We all know Adam Sandler's best is definitely Jack and Jill, of course. Undeniably, it is his best. He plays two different characters. The guy's a chameleon. What can I say? Jack and Jill, one of the best films of all time. What is that one movie that you left with the biggest emotional impact and left a heartwarming effect on you after you finished watching it? Yeah, and this is going to be a weird one for a lot of people, but I would probably say the one that left the biggest impact on me was The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I get it. A lot of people, it isn't a favorite of a lot of people. I think the movie's fucking perfect, and depending on the day, it is my favorite out of the trilogy. But for me, man, that like ending montage with the voiceover, and then like the Hans Zimmer score, and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt finding the Batcave, and then like the thing rising to the Batman theme. I mean, I'm getting chills right now just talking about it, just because of how well executed it is. I mean, that's another thing I love about Nolan. Nolan knows how to fucking end a movie, and that to me was just like, it was the perfect ending for that series. It just, everything concluded in such a beautiful way. And the Dark Knight trilogy is, I consider it one entity, and it's probably my second favorite film of all time. I just have such admiration for it and what Nolan did with that series. So yeah, when it, going through all three of those films and the journey that Bruce goes on, it's just, it was one that left me very emotional just because of what that series kind of means to me. But then also, from a technical perspective, he just really knows how to end a film. So there's that too. So let's go with that. I mean, well, at the same time, La La Land had a similar effect on me. I'm going with all these new movies. God, I really just, the recency effect is killing me here. La La Land had the same effect. American Beauty. American Beauty also had a very powerful effect on me when I finished watching it. Same with A Streetcar Named Desire. That, oh god, if you have not seen A Streetcar Named Desire, go watch that. That is, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think it might be Marlon Brando's best performance. I know a lot of people say On the Waterfront, and I really can't argue with you if that is the case, but for me, watching A Streetcar Named Desire was riveting. So we'll go with that too. How dare you, Griffin? Breaking Bad is the best show ever. I'm sorry, man. I just couldn't get into it. God, what's happening here? Shoot, I lost the chat. Shoot. Kree Griffin Mindhunter is phenomenal all around. Yes, it is. What are some of your favorite comedies of the decade so far? Comedies. No, Tropic Thunder didn't come out. Did The Other Guys come out? No, I think The Other Guys was in '09. Let me look that up real quick because it's gonna drive me crazy. Best or comedies of the 2010s. I mean, Game Night's really good, but once again, the stupid recency thing. Oh yeah, okay. So The Other Guys does count. Thank God. The Other Guys and What We Do in the Shadows are two of the funniest movies I think I've ever seen, and I think The Other Guys might be one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies, if you can believe it. But what do I want to say this? Yeah, I think What We Do in the Shadows might be my favorite comedy of all time. It's really funny. It's just nonstop comedy. Scott Pilgrim is really good. The Jump Street movies, obviously, I think are funny. I wouldn't say that they're like my favorite. I think they're enjoyable though. The Nice Guys, I guess, if you can consider it one. Oh, This Is the End. This Is the End is absolutely fucking hilarious. That's another one that I can't. Every time I watch, it kills me. So there you go. Okay, favorite comedies. Hello, congratulations on reaching 5K. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. What is that one movie that you've never ever wanted to go back to because it's that bad and you would never recommend? Pan. Pan is one of the worst films I've ever seen. I don't know what Joe Wright was thinking when he made that movie. He probably wasn't thinking. It's such a weird movie, but I had such a physical reaction to watching it. It's disgusting. It's a terrible movie. If you saw Pan, I am so sorry for you. I'm so sorry. Outside of Bond, do you have a favorite Sean Connery movie? Just watched Hunt for Red October again. Hunt for Red October is excellent. That's really hard that's really hard to top. I mean, it's also really hard not to go with The Last Crusade. I mean, my God, for a character that is only in the Indiana Jones movie, in one Indiana Jones movie, one time, in Henry Jones Sr., Sean Connery makes a massive impact, and his relationship with Harrison Ford, their dynamic, how it evolves, and the thing at the end, and when we get to the end, they're riding off into the sunset. I mean, it's really hard not to go with Last Crusade. Although Hunt for Red October is another incredible one. If you were to direct a heist movie, what would the plot be? Oh shit. Okay. What would the plot be? Who would you cast, screenwriter and composer as well? Oh, Jesus. Well, the composer is Hans Zimmer, because of course. Screenwriter is... Who do I want to write this movie? Oh man, guys, you're stumping me. Who do I want as a screenwriter for this? For a heist movie? Who writes good heist movies? I mean, I keep going to Michael Mann, but yeah, all right, sure. We'll go with Michael Mann, even though he's been a little bit on the downside now. It's kind of hard not to, go with him. If Michael Mann is writing this heist movie and I'm directing it, I'm assuming that he's going to take me under his wing and be like, hey, listen, you should do it like this. And then I'll be like, okay, Michael Mann, you're the master of crime films, or of heist movies, so I'm going to listen to you. The plot, it would be about a bunch of guys jumping out of a plane to pull off a heist on another plane, and then after that they have to go back onto a plane and then eventually skydive down. I don't really know what the plot to that movie would be, but take that as you will. How old are you? I am X years old. No, I'm 24. How would you fix the season 8 finale of Game of Thrones? I wouldn't. I really didn't have any issues with it. The only way I would fix season 8 would be by making it longer, prolonging it. I saw Daenerys, that turn coming, made sense to me. I love that episode, by the way. The bells, holy shit! You want to talk about a immersive, visceral episode of television? That was really something. So yeah, no, that worked for me. The ending, I think they just wrapped it up too quickly. I mean, you really needed to pad it out longer. But everything that happened made sense to me. I mean, Bran getting the throne, did that really bother? I mean, it bothered people. It didn't really bother me because Jon got the ending that fit his character. Arya got the ending that fit her character. Sansa got the ending that fit her character, and Daenerys got what she deserved. I mean, it never. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not the greatest season of Game of Thrones, but the way that the arcs concluded, it felt logical. It just the only change I would have made was giving it the length of a full season. And actually, I don't even blame season 8 entirely. I kind of blame season 7 as well, because that was cut short. That could have used a little bit padding out. Wrap up the White Walker thread in season 7, and then have season 8 devoted to Cersei and Daenerys and all that stuff. So that, I think they tried to cram too much into such a short season. It didn't end up being fulfilling, but the way the characters panned out did not bother me. Favorite type of music? I mean, I'm all over the board, man. I'll listen to alt rock, pop punk, hip hop, rap, R&B. I'm a big R&B guy. I really like R&B. EDM. I'll put on some EDM playlists almost every day. I also really like movie scores, but that's usually when I'm working on stuff. I like to play that. That helps me with that. Favorite Michael Scott quote besides "That's what she said." Mine is when he pulled up to the car listening to Lady Gaga and he said, "It's Britney, bitch." There are so many, and I can't think of one off the top of my head. So list a bunch, and I'll tell you my favorite out of those. It's kind of tricky. You have a nice background there. I don't get why some people hate on it. I guess, do people hate my background? Maybe they probably just don't like the pops. I get it. Funko Pops aren't for everyone, and Lord knows I have too many of them. So, what are you gonna do? You can't please everyone. How are you not an actor? You're too good looking. Thank you. Plan on getting involved in movies at all? Maybe, but it would be behind the camera. I'm not really one for being in front of the camera. I took a few acting classes, and I mean, it's fun. I don't think I'm particularly good, and I don't know if that would be something that I want to pursue, but like video editing, directing, I mean, those were some of my initial ambitions before I kind of stumbled into this career pathway accidentally. So yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm open to a lot of things, but yeah, I don't know about acting. But never say never. So, have you seen the whole Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street franchise? Don't Jay Vader's me. It's torture. Oh, yeah, I've seen the whole Halloween franchise. It gets pretty bad towards the end. Nightmare on Elm Street. And Nightmare on Elm Street is a weird one where it's like it's just kind of like uneven. So like it starts out really good. The second one, not so great. Third one, oh, it's not too bad. Fourth one, and so on and so forth. And you get to New Nightmare, which I think is a necessary film because you wouldn't have Scream without New Nightmare. New Nightmare, I think, is one of the more influential horror films to have come out, and Wes Craven then took that formula and perfected it with Scream, which is one of the greatest horror films and one of the greatest slashers of all time. So, between the two, I mean, I'm always partial to Michael Myers and Halloween, but those movies do get really ridiculous towards the end. The Rob Zombie movies are just trash. So, yeah, I don't know which one I would choose between the two. Have you ever seen Spice World? I have not. Sorry. Katie Holmes in Batman Begins was pretty meh. I really didn't think she was that bad. I mean, and I didn't think Maggie Gyllenhaal was that much better. So they're fine. Or they're not fine. I think they're good. They give good performances. They're not like the greatest, but I don't really get the hate for Katie Holmes in Batman Begins. She's does a good job. Favorite modern horror, Hereditary takes the cake for me. For me, it's The Witch, because there is no other horror film that really stuck with me and messed with my head as much as that one did. But Hereditary is a really good one too. I'm trying to think if there's other modern horror movies. I mean, I'm sure there are, but once again, I have a terrible memory in case you can't remember. But the Witch really is. It's such an effective movie, so hard not to go with that. Everyone says Katie Holmes. I didn't think she was bad. Thank you, Ryan. I also agree. Damien Chazelle. Yes, Damien Chazelle is also another favorite of mine. Leo and Django. Where I lost the chat again. John Travolta in The Fanatic is pretty fucking terrible. When your first line is, "Hey, I can't talk. I got poo." I mean, it's like, yikes. What are we setting here? The Dark Knight Rises, yeah, Griffin. The Dark Knight Rises is an incredible movie. Chandler, congrats, Griffin. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Let's see, favorite 5 horror movies to watch this Halloween. Also, do you have any obscure horror movie not many people have seen that you thought was well done? I'm not necessarily the right person to ask when it comes to horror. I mean, I've only recently started really getting into it, so I don't know if I know of any hidden gems. But in terms of 5 favorite horror movies to watch during the Halloween, I mean, Halloween, Trick or Treat, Scream. I'm so basic when it comes to horror. Can we count Suspiria as a horror film? We'll count that as a horror film because I love Suspiria. We'll go Suspiria and then up in the air. You choose the 5th one. I really can't. It's so weird because I don't have like. Oh, I'm sorry. Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is the other one. But when it comes to horror, it's like in Halloween, I'll usually just like turn on AMC on the TV, and then whatever horror movie they're playing, I'll watch. The Exorcist is good. Yeah, I don't know, man. Nolan has yet to make a bad movie. I agree with that. John Travolta gave a better performance in The Fanatic than Joaquin did in Joker, hands down. I agree with that. Yeah. How dare you, Ryan? How dare Ryan? Ryan's telling the truth. Favorite Tim Burton movie? Ooh, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. I fucking love that movie. That's a movie that I've rewatched a lot just because of the music. I think Johnny Depp is excellent in that, especially because he's playing against what he normally does too. He's not like just like ooh whimsical and wacky. I mean, yeah, he's got like a hair. He's like really pale and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean Johnny Depp he's so good in that film. So is Helena Bonham Carter, and so is Alan Rickman. And so is literally everyone else in that film. I love Sweeney Todd. Have you ever seen Watership Down? No, I have not. Sorry, can't help you there. Ryan O'Toole, if you don't take that back right now, okay, we got a feud going in there. Will you ever make a favorite films of all time? Massive congrats on 5K. Can't wait to see you grow even more. Well, thank you so much, Colin. Really appreciate that, dude. Will I ever make a favorite films of all time list? Maybe. When I can narrow it down. I've been working away on that, and that's a tough list to compile. That's a really tough list. But I think I have like the movies. I just got to like shrink the list down into like a top 10, and then yeah, and then from there we'll we'll see that. But Okay. Favorite list. Some of my favorite comedies this decade: Deadpool, World's End, Easy A, Ted, Seven Psychopaths, Bridesmaids. Yeah, all those are good. I mean, The World's End is a good one. I think I prefer Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead though. Easy A, great. Ted was funny at first, but it got really old. Deadpool, I liked it. Okay, this will be my contrarian opinion of movies that I'm not the biggest fans of that everyone loves. I think Deadpool is just okay. I think the first time I saw it, I loved it. I thought it was really funny. I thought Ryan Reynolds was great. But for me, the shtick gets really old, and the rewatch factor on it just diminishes really fast. I still think it's great. I love what they were able to do with such a small budget, and I'm glad that we have this version of Deadpool, because we deserve nothing less. But I don't know. I go back, I see it, I watch on, I know the beats, I know exactly what to expect, and it just has lost its effect on me. I know someone like Zach has watched that movie more times than I've been alive, probably, but I can't. Yeah, it's just kind of its novelty is worn off on me. So, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Deadpool 2 either. So I'm sorry, don't hate me, people. Have you thought about doing tier lists? Nah. It's not really my thing. I mean, I like the concept behind it, but if you want to go look at good tier list videos, go check out Austin Burke. Austin Burke does some good tier list videos. Top 5 Pixar movies. Ooh, okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do it, and I'll probably have them right, but I want to make sure I have all the Pixar movies in front of me before I do this. Okay. Number 1 is. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I actually have a note of this written down. I swear to God I did, because I made this list not too long ago. Bear with me, folks, but I wanna answer one of these top 5 questions right. Pixar. I guarantee you I made a note of this. Maybe I didn't. Oh, yikes. Maybe I did not make a note of this. Best Pixar movies. Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like I didn't do that, so we'll wing it here. The Incredibles. Now I'm losing them all. Give me a second. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get it right. I can't. It's tough for me to just rattle this stuff off because I like put too much thought into it. Oh, maybe it's on Letterboxd. I would say, The Incredibles is number 1 for sure. Probably Toy Story 2 or Toy Story 4, maybe. Monsters Inc. Okay, let's see. What do I have in front of me? All right, The Incredibles, Toy Story 4, or no, sorry. Yes, The Incredibles, Toy Story 4, Ratatouille, Incredibles 2, Monsters Inc. That feels weird to me, so it might not be right, but that's what I'm gonna go with for right now. I spent way too much time on that question, but that bugs me. I can't rattle that off the top of my head. If Mike Myers announced Austin Powers 4, would you be excited or be cautious due to long-awaited sequels to comedies? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited. And also, I want Mike Myers to have a comeback. The guy really deserves a win. I think he, regardless of his crappy movies in the early 2000s, I think he is one of the most he's a really enjoyable comedian to watch, and I think he's a great guy. And it, to be honest, I mean, it's really hard to fuck up Austin Powers. Like, I mean, even when the story's not the greatest, just him doing his shtick and running around and being silly is enough to really entertain me. So I'd watch it in a heartbeat. But I mean, you're right. Given like Zoolander 2 and Dumb and Dumber 2, we could potentially see another one of those. But I'll keep my fingers crossed and be optimistic. Holy shit, I would fix everything. In regards to Game of Thrones, yeah, whatever. Josephine DeMarco, what children's book would you want to see adapted into a movie, and who would you want to direct it? I don't know who I'd want. I'll get back to you on the directing, but the children's book I'd like to see adapted is wow, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Redwall, the Brian Jacques films. I think the movies. Those are great. It's like Lord of the Rings for kids. Honestly, it is some of the best world building I think I've ever seen, and in like a children's book. And the characters are great. There's like a specific scene from I think Redwall that I remember with like the snake and stuff like that. It's awesome. I want to see Redwall done right, and they can either use the mice or the animals, or they don't have to. I think they should, because it's for kids, but you can make a really good animated movie out of that. They had an animated TV show, but I'd like to see be another one done like that. So yeah, Redwall for sure. I would love a Taika Waititi Harold and the Purple Crayon. I'd pay money to see that. I would pay money to see that. Yeah, for sure. I've yet to watch the rest of Game of Thrones. I love it. One of the best shows of all time, so do that as you will. Most expensive pop you would Most expensive pop you would get or have gotten. What is a character you would love for Funko to do, and in what pose? Sorry for being specific. No, I love Funkos too. They're incredible. The most I'll pull it out over here. Hold on, where is it? I believe my most expensive pop is Robb Stark from Game of Thrones, if you can see that. But yeah, this one, gosh, he was like close to $200. He's worth close to $200. So it's yeah, we don't mess around here. We do Funkos right. But other than him, I have two of the original Friends Funko Pops, like Joey and Chandler, which those are actually really rare because they discontinued them. So, yeah, but those are two good ones. Taika Waititi, the director one, I have him behind me. Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, you can see him, I think over there or over there, wherever it is. But he's also pretty rare as well. And then what character would I want to see them do a Funko of? Give me... Ooh, that's tough. Give me, I'd like to see a series of classic film character Funkos. So like, I want to see, Clint Eastwood from the Man with No Name trilogy. I want to see, gosh, why am I blanking on the rest of them? Jimmy Stewart from Vertigo is one that came to mind. Kim Novak from Vertigo. Yeah, one of like Grace Kelly or something like that. Yeah. I know they've done a few classic ones. Like, I'm pretty sure they have a Breakfast at Tiffany's one, but more of those would be really, really cool. I'd like it. Yeah, that'd be fun. As far as like Funko moments, I don't know. I don't have one off the top of my head. What is a remake you think is better than the original? Suspiria 2018 is a far better film than the original. I think it's a movie that actually has something to say and isn't just about neon colors and witches. It's a great... original Suspiria is a great movie, but like Dario Argento is one of the best giallo filmmakers of all time, but Luca Guadagnino just really tapped into something that is timely and elegant, and I loved every bit of it. Are you a fan of Sam Esmail, Mr. Robot, and Homecoming are masterpieces of television, in my opinion, but I've yet to meet anyone who appreciates his directing as much. I don't watch Mr. Robot or Homecoming. So I unfortunately can't give you an answer on that, but I will take your word for it. I want to watch Mr. Robot, especially leading up to No Time to Die, just to see what Rami Malek can do with a more reserved kind of character like he plays in the show. So it's definitely on my watch list. If there's any movie you'd absolutely love to show people who are movie lovers and have never seen that, if there's so what's my go-to movie to show people that have never seen that movie, I guess, is your question. I mean, Inception. I mean, most film people have seen Inception, so I guess it's like kind of hard for me to say. But if you're talking to someone who has like never watched a movie in their life, and like I'm only going to be able to show them one movie, probably going to be Inception. I would also go with American Beauty. Yeah, go with those two. Have you mentioned your favorite movie score yet? Where is this? Have you mentioned your favorite movie score yet? I have not. Probably because I don't have a definitive answer. Man of Steel is up there. It's really hard to top that. That's an incredible score. Do you watch Double Toasted? Not really. I think they're good, but I mean I don't really watch them too much myself. If you could select the members of a future Avengers film, what superheroes must be in it? What two superheroes would you like to see team up for a movie like Thor and Hulk? Well, I'll answer the latter part of your question first. Daredevil and Spider-Man is like a dream team up for me, just because them teaming up in the comics is one of my favorite things. They really butt heads a lot of times, but then I also think it would be a nice dynamic because Matt Murdock's a more serious guy, and then you've got like Spider-Man on there to bring in like the comedic elements. He's got levity, and so seeing how Peter would kind of react to someone like a Matt Murdock would be interesting. But then also, I just want to see more of like New York, and those guys are like staples of New York. So, yeah, I'd be big on that. But if I could select the members of a future Avengers film, so what do we have? Like 5, I guess. So, and I'm assuming we're going by Endgame rules where it's like the yeah. So like no Tony, no Cap, sort of thing. I'd go Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, Thor, and then God, who I want else? Ghost Rider. We're gonna throw an oddball in there. We're gonna throw in Ghost Rider. So that's gonna be my Avengers team. I'm doing a Nolan series next year leading up to Tenet. Would you like to join me for Dunkirk? Absolutely. Just hit me up. I'll fight you on Dunkirk all the way home. Who's an actor or actress you don't get the appeal to? Not hate them, just not in love with their work. Others do. It's funny you mentioned this because I was giving our friend Tyler Tompkins shit about this. He's a big Miles Teller fan. He considers Miles Teller to be his his favorite actor. And I look at him and I'm like, why? What that is such an obscure pick, and so I guess I don't really understand the appeal to Miles Teller. I think he's been in like a couple of good movies, but I don't think he's that good of an actor. Or well, I'll take that back. I think he's a fine actor. He just hasn't, other than like Whiplash, there's been like nothing that made me go, wow, yeah, Miles Teller, man, wow. So him. In terms of actresses, Jennifer Lawrence has kind of lost a little bit of her charm on me, but I still think she's a good actress. So I can't really say that. Yeah, I don't know about that, but we'll go with Miles Teller for now. And a Denis Villeneuve series. Well, if you're doing Denis Villeneuve, my favorite film is Prisoners by him. So, gotta be honest. Last time I found Austin Powers funny was in middle school, in my opinion. Well, sir, let me tell you, I watched Austin Powers a couple of months ago for the first time in ages, and I was laughing my ass off. So, I still think it's funny. Endgame or Infinity War? Endgame, I think. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Endgame. Favorite Pixar character? Frozone. Most anticipated Disney Plus movie or TV show? I mean, it's kind of hard to bet against The Mandalorian. Although, I'm very excited for WandaVision. That seems like something unique, wacky, just like completely different. Something we have not seen before. Also, Moon Knight, because I've been waiting for a Moon Knight series forever, or just like some version of Moon Knight being brought to the big screen. I have no idea what they're gonna do with it. We only just got an announcement, but that's my pick for there. Blade Runner 2049, The Thing. I don't know what that is. Imagine if the Oscars had sports to get their ratings up. The directors would compete in go-karting, a football game, and the best picture would determine tug of war. Of Oscar Olympics idea, there could be dances where cheerleaders girls wear the costumes of the movie. That is very interesting for Oscar Olympics, and the Oscar goes to the New England Patriots. Oh God, that's interesting concept. Question from Cody O'Toole: what is your favorite holiday movie? It's a Wonderful Life for Christmas, because that movie fills me with such joy. Movies I like but people hate: Spider-Man 3, Austin Powers Goldmember. Hey, I like Goldmember. Scream 4. I don't think people hate. Scream 4 is probably it is good. I think it's good. It's divisive at worst. But Revenge of the Sith, yeah, right there with you. That's a top one for me. American Wedding, Hot Rod. Hot Rod's gotten a little bit of a cult following, so yeah, for sure. Zathura, yeah, man, Zathura, very underrated movie. Nice family film by John Favreau. Johnny Fabs, I like to call him. Who are some of your favorite actors working today? For me, Gyllenhaal, Phoenix, and Pattinson. For me, it's DiCaprio, Michael Fassbender, and yeah, I don't know. It changes. Well, I'd say probably Ryan Gosling. I mean, very basic picks, but for me like my favorite actors, they always change. I mean, the one that really doesn't change is DiCaprio. I mean, it's really hard not to go with him. I think he just consistently is incredible. But Michael Fassbender is an underappreciated actor. I really dig the stuff that he does, and he doesn't get enough credit. I mean, he gets credit when he plays Magneto, but that's because he's just like this shining beam of light in a shit pile that is some of those X-Men movies. So have you seen Turn: Washington Spies? I have not. I've heard pretty good things about it, but I haven't watched it myself. Movies I don't like but people love: Shakespeare in Love, Chicago, Boyhood, American Hustle, Happy Gilmore, Signs. I like Signs, but the rest of those I get. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Shakespeare in Love. I don't really like Boyhood either. I think Boyhood really comes down to just the novelty of the thing. Happy Gilmore, I have a love-hate relationship with, but I still think it's good. And American Hustle was totally disappointing. Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady? Well, how are we ranking this? I mean, if are we going Tom Brady like of all time or this season? Because I think this season it's kind of hard not to go with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is incredible. In fact, I think Patrick Mahomes is the next great quarterback. It's really hard to bet against him. And he's given me really good fantasy points, so I can't complain. one movie you thought didn't deserve all the praise it got, and one movie that you thought it didn't get all the praise it deserved. For me, it was War for the Planet of the Apes. Deserved more love. Yeah, that you're right. That is a movie that should have gotten a little bit more love. Movie that didn't deserve all the praise. I gotta go think on that one for sure. That's tough. But a movie that didn't get enough praise. Oh God, I mean, there's so many indie films that I could choose. I really want to give you an answer, but I'm like drawing a blank on all of them. Sorry about that. Which MCU character do you see opening up his or her own restaurant? I see Scarlet Witch and Vision opening up an Eastern European cuisine restaurant because they're the only Avengers I've seen cook. I'm down for that. Yeah, why not? Favorite restaurant scene in a movie when Harry Met Sally? Yeah, that one's pretty good. I go with De Niro and Pacino in Heat. Oh God, I love that one. Love it so much. But when Harry Met Sally has an excellent one too. So does I had it on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, we'll go with Heat. Actor and actress you would lose your mind, full on starstruck, turn red, lose ability to speak if you ever see in a public place. Fun. I don't know if I've had that effect. I don't really get starstruck, but I'll tell you a funny story of when I met Ryan Gosling and I literally word vomited all over the place because I had no idea what to say, and someone just like shoved me in that direction. He was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I was like, whatever the hell came out of my mouth came out, and so that was really embarrassing, but it was it was kind of funny. Who are actors you want to see work together in a movie? I want to see Emma Stone and Jennifer Lawrence and Ryan Reynolds and Chris Pratt. Oh God, guys, making me think here. That I want to see work together in a movie. I want to see Tom Cruise and The Rock in the most masculine, testosterone-fueled, ridiculous, authentically choreographed action movie ever. Throw Keanu Reeves in there as well. Why not? Most underwhelming win, Oscar win in your perspective. Probably Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies because Sylvester Stallone should have won that. I'm still kind of bummed out about that. Saddest movie scene that made you cry the hardest. I don't really cry in movies that much. Saddest movie scene. You know, and this is probably a recency effect, but Marriage Story has a as just an absolute gut-wrenching scene in the middle of it that that made me cry a lot, but not in the way I was expecting. Like it's not a movie that like, or it's not a scene that really, you know, you would think you would cry over, but it's one that just leaves you emotionally drained and really sad. So I'd probably go with that one for right now, but I mean, it's not the most it's not the saddest scene I've ever seen. I'd have to think a little bit about that one. Jacob Tremblay and Julia Butters should star in a teen rom-com. Hey, I'm all for that. I love both of those actors, so it sounds good. What movie made you start to love the art of film and take it more seriously? Probably The Departed, which is why that's in my top 10 favorite films of all time. Yeah, that I remember watching that movie and was just like, whoa, okay. I want to like analyze everything about this. It's just like it's incredibly well acted. the direction is amazing. It just like continuously keeps your attention, and so I mean like that's one that really made me start to appreciate the craft of filmmaking. Also Batman Begins. Both of those movies are really I love both of those. Okay. Plus, they are astrological opposites. Oh, that's cool. Didn't know that. Okay, losing this here. Movie or movies you think deserved a sequel or you would want to see more of? Assassin's Creed. I want to see more of those. And then also, I really would have liked to have seen an Amazing Spider-Man 3. I really would have liked that. Also, a John Carter. More John Carter movies. Always appreciated. Who is the better YouTube, Bromance, Stuckman, and FlickPick, or the Schmoes? Well, the Schmoes is basically just gift wrap to you, but I will say the Stuckman and FlickPick are... I enjoy watching their videos, but, I mean, come on, the Schmoes are like brothers for life. They're great. Who's an actor you want to see in the MCU? Keanu Reeves. Hello, have you seen Joker? Yes, I have seen Joker. You can watch a review of it on my channel, actually. It's great. Great movie. Who would win in a fight? Thomasin McKenzie from Jojo Rabbit and Leave No Trace, or Eliza Scanlon, who played the sister in Sharp Objects? I don't know. Thomasin McKenzie. All right, let's have Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves, and Paul Rudd play vampires in a movie since they don't. Yep, that's it. That's the team up. That's perfect. The ageless movie stars. That's what we'll call it. What's a movie that made you examine your entire life? Oh God. I don't know if I've had that one movie that made me like examine some sort of thing like that. Yeah, I don't know if I've had that sort of experience yet, but one I'll tell you, also recency effect, and I hate that I'm giving you recent answers, but the one that I kind of walked out of and really like hit me was Midsommar, because I had been there. I've been there, so I could relate to that film a lot. For the X-Men reboot, would you want them to go with the original team, or what X-Men members would you want to see first? For X-Men, I'm okay with either or. I don't know if I really want to see Wolverine right off the bat, but like it's to me it's hard to do X-Men without Professor Xavier and Magneto. So I know they're not part of the team, but they're such an integral part of that franchise. I'd be cool with seeing some new faces on there. Like I really got excited when Days of Future Past was coming out, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have Sunspot, we're gonna have Bishop, we're gonna have this, that." And they didn't really use them. So yeah, I'm definitely open for new characters. Let's get more Iceman, a little bit more. God, I don't even know. Just yeah, stuff like that. I'm cool with that. Departed is my favorite Scorsese movie. Same. I saw Marriage Story a couple weeks ago. If you're talking about the argument scene between Scarlett and Adam in Adam's apartment, I get you. That scene was powerful. Yeah, that's the scene. I'll be in the minority here. I think Adam Driver should get the Oscar for his performance in Marriage Story. That scene alone really hammers it down. If you think about it, The Departed is a movie about two guys competing for the same girl. Yeah, but it's a very surface level way of looking at it. I don't think it's really that. But last question here, unless you guys want to keep going, but I think we're gonna wrap it. We've been going for like a little over an hour here, so yeah, definitely gotta start wrapping this up. But what's a movie you would fix by doing one thing? God, now because this is the last question, I do gotta give an answer. A movie that I would fix by doing one thing. Well, here's the thing. A lot of movies you can't fix by doing one thing. I think the case with a lot of films, because when films don't work, it's because of a lot of things. So I don't know if that's really fair to say, oh, you do this and the movie's great. So I don't know about that. Favorite movie that takes place at a farm or green nature setting. Takes place at a farm. Holiday Inn, because Holiday Inn, that counts, right? Or no. White Christmas. That White Christmas kind of counts for that. One actor I love to be part of the MCU, I know is controversial, is Mark Wahlberg. Hey, if Marky Mark wants to act it up and have fun and give it his all, yeah, I'm all for that. That could be a good one. But I think we're gonna end it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this. It was actually a lot of fun. You all really brought the questions. I was impressed. I was like, holy crap, they got a lot of here. So yeah, if for whatever reason you're watching this on the replay, thanks so much for subscribing to this channel, for giving me all the support that you have. I really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully we can do more of these live streams in the future. I kind of like it, and I'd be down to having more conversations with you guys and such. So yeah, I'm like brain dead now. I got so many questions flowing at me. I'm just like, whoa, all right. So yeah, as always, if you aren't subscribed to this channel, this is your first time watching one of our videos, thank you so much for watching. It's kind of a weird one to start on, but be sure to subscribe to this channel for more movie reviews, more I guess occasional live streams such as this, and other sort of film analysis and discourse. You can like FilmSpeak on Facebook and follow us on Twitter simply by searching FilmSpeak. All the social media links are in the description as well. And if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right. Also, shout out to 3C Films for monitoring the chat. I really appreciate it, dude. You did a good job. Thanks for sticking through, over an hour worth of questions. But all right, man, or guys, I'll catch you on the flip side. And thanks for tuning in. See ya.